Hello, listener. This is producer Jeffrey. Step into my time machine. Long ago, beginning in the ancient past of 2009, we made a show called Our Fair City. Now, Our Fair City is a sprawling, epic story set in the dystopian future of Hartford, Connecticut. A climate disaster made the world outside a frozen wasteland. What remains of humanity lives inside in a largely subterranean city governed by the remains of an insurance company. Now, Our Fair City is darkly funny. You'll meet mad scientists, lightning riggers, the woken dead, giant ants, time travelers, and mole people. We are currently re-releasing Our Fair City weekly, so this is a great time to join us for a romp through the tunnels of Heartlife. After today's episode, we'll be sharing a trailer for the show. I hope you'll check it out, and I would love you to join us in our listen of Our Fair City, found wherever you're listening to this podcast right now.
This is producer Eleanor popping in to tell you about our latest podcast, The Harbingers. The Harbingers is a modern fantasy podcast about the first two real magicians of the modern era and how that power changes the world forever. For this podcast, Jeffrey and I have teamed up with the incredible Gabrielle Urbina. Gabrielle has written a couple of seasons of World Gone Wrong, or you might know him as the creator of Wolf 359. I am beyond thrilled to be teaming up together to make this original show. The Harbingers is right at the intersection of fantasy, political thriller, and personal drama. Adam and Amy meet as rivals in grad school, and their relationship was always complicated. They were bitter rivals, ideological opposites, and even went out on a date once, though they'd really prefer if everyone please forgot about that, thank you very much. Then, they became the first two people in thousands of years capable of doing magic. So now, these two are kind of stuck with each other. If you like magical rivals, political machinations, snappy dialogue, and dreaming of saving the world, The Harbingers is a show for you. The first episode of The Harbingers is right here on the World Gone Wrong feed. We put it out in October 2025 with a conversation between Michael and Gabrielle. So you can check that out and get a taste there. And then please subscribe to The Harbingers wherever you find your podcasts.
Oh, hey, Malik. We've got a bit of an Arbor Day Special this week, and I promised you I'd come up with a harder joke last time. I think I can stump you with this one. I think you might really face some palm.
Maybe not with puns like that.
All right. Why do Platanus occidentalis have to see the doctor more than any other tree?
Because they're sycamore?
Again? Oh, my gosh, you really know your trees, don't you?
You know as well as anyone that my biggest goal in life is to own and operate one of those meticulously decorated tweed treehouse B&Bs in Busa Forest.
I may have seen you dreaming up a Pinterest board or two. I guess I should have figured I couldn't get you. But I did save another one in the trunk just in case.
Get twiggy with it.
What do you get when you cross a tree with an artificial waterway?
Are you trying to give me PTSD?
A root canal!
But why must you plague the depths of my very recent dental nightmares for a lukewarm cold open? Oh my God, Jamie, stop!
Someone on the radio said something about the sun going out forever in a month or so. But we all knew the end was near, nothing to be done from here. So I shake my head and off to bed I go.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of World Gone Wrong, friends. My puntastic co-host here is Jamie.
And that's Mad Mardigan.
Who?
You know, come on, Val Kilmer's hot, disgraced himbo knight from Willow. I was trying to keep the whole tree bit going.
I've actually never seen it.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me, Malik.
Doesn't ring a bell for me.
Willow is only one of the greatest fantasy films of our time, directed by Ron Howard.
Little Richie Cunningham, know him.
Starring Warwick Davis.
Did he also play an Ewok?
The very same. And it gave us the utter perfection that is Joanne Whalley as Princess Sorsha, and even had a criminally underrated Disney Plus reboot series that got canceled after one perfect season before being scrubbed from the internet as a stupid tax write-off.
Well, my dear fantasy-loving friend, that's certainly a tragedy, but we're getting pretty off topic here.
Fine, I'll leave it. But I know what we're watching on our next virtual movie date.
Hey, you picked the last two.
It's not my fault that you need regular continuing education in the cinematic arts.
Two extremely hot and talented best friends.
We're two extremely hot and talented best friends staying close by making a show that tackles our new normal.
And every single possible abnormal thing about it, one episode at a time. Your wandering kaiju, your feral unicorns.
Your frozen spaghetti circles, your disappearing dinosaur fossils, what have you.
Your, regular Thursdays these days.
And this week, we've got a really fun one for you. A second episode entirely dedicated to trees. Pretty wild that this is all bubbling up just in time for Arbor Day. This time, a deep dive into the logging controversy at Allegheny State Park. More specifically, at the tippy-top corner of Allegheny State Park at the southwestern tier of New York State, which comes with a twist.
Oh, no way. I've actually been there. Who's trying to tear it down?
According to this local rock-talker named Igneous J. Riley that I've been following for a while.
Side note, hate the pun, but love the Confederacy of Dunces reference.
Hence the igneous. Help me. This logging project is being spearheaded by a shell corporation owned by a seemingly non-existent company owned by a shell corporation owned by a shell corporation owned by the dragon's nephew's wife.
Of course he's involved. I was really hoping to go through today without having to think about him. Pretty shitty twist.
Trust me, I was too. He's actually not the twist, even though he is definitely an integral part of the story.
Juicy. Love a breadcrumb. But also, can we go back to the fact that you've been following a rock-talker for a while?
They were actually a pretty early and fucking find. An ASMR rabbit hole I went down right after I got back to Colorado. Their videos are really calming. Or at least their regular ones were, which mostly focused on really beautifully edited videos of gorgeous rocks they found on hikes throughout the region. But more recently, with everything happening in their neck of the woods, they've been documenting the local response to this logging development. So things are getting pretty heated, to say the least.
How so?
It goes pretty deep, TBH. This isn't actually the first time these lands have been up for sale. So back in 2005, there was a big proposal for an old growth logging project that would have served as a potential development site for a massive farm supply depot. The whole thing was being touted as a big jobs creator for the area, but the company itself was pretty well known for union busting and subpar health benefits.
God, that is the most Western New York thing I've ever heard.
I didn't know you were so familiar with the area.
I may or may not have had a brief long-distance fling with a tuba player in the marching band from SUNY Fredonia. That's why I've been to Allegheny. We went fishing there.
I need to know every single detail about everything you just said.
Eric, whose name is falsified here for personal safety.
Safety, yes.
It only lasted a semester. We met because our schools were playing a game against each other. Stayed up all night playing Mario Party and smooching. He came to visit me once. I flew out there twice. He was very kind, but it never made a lot of sense.
The one that got away.
A one that got away, but never mind me. Dish about this logging project.
The community was pretty divided by the whole thing. Some of the more affluent folks were excited for the project, but it was pretty unpopular among the town at large, who actually used and loved the land for its natural beauty. Primarily this group of hippies who called themselves the Society of Pine.
Oh, my Lord.
They lived off the grid and sold patchouli and blackberry preserves at farmers markets while passing out helpful literature about their free forest bathing and psilocybin-aided mindfulness classes. But who, upon closer inspection, all seem to have a little more of a fundamentalist trad wife vibe than a crunchy granola one.
I know that type.
Don't we all? So, in the halcyon days of 2005, this group chained themselves to the oldest trees in the state park to protest the development for 6 straight weeks, all taking shifts. There was a group of about 17 of them then. They covered the entire perimeter of the development using their off time to forage in the woods and fish in the reservoir for food to feed everyone. And the incredible thing is, they won. The investors backed out of the project because of bad press. The land wasn't developed.
Yay, tree huggers!
Well, technically, The land wasn't developed by the farming supply business.
Oh.
The Society of Pine, on the other hand, did end up with a parcel of the land at a fraction of the original sale price. They kept most of it intact, but they did still end up cutting down a few of those very old trees they were protecting in order to build their official compound. So they still sell hand-turned bowls made from those majestic beasts at the farmer's market. Igneous has one and showed it off in one of their videos. It's honestly beautiful, but they do feel conflicted about it. And so do I, honestly.
Boo, bad hippies.
We'll just call it complicated. It was a big win at the time and popular with most of the locals, the ones who weren't going to make a killing off the original deal anyway. But smash cut to now, all these years later, and here's the Society of Pine still putting their bodies on the line to prevent the destruction of this patch of trees for larger corporate interests. And this time, the stakes are much higher, especially with the family money behind the whole thing.
Back to their old tricks again, are they? But come on, this is the dragon we're talking about. He couldn't have rolled over and given up because of a bunch of hippie preppers.
No, you're right. He certainly didn't. Take a look at the clip I just sent you in the chat.
Okay. Let me pull it up and... Fuck.
Fuck is right.
Listeners, what Jamie has just shared with me is a very short clip of the skies, presumably over Allegheny State Park. It's a bright sunny day. The wind is blowing through the leaves. All seems peaceful. Until the sun is blacked out entirely by the soaring body of the dragon himself.
Look, I know the man doesn't need to use Air Force One, even if we'd all prefer he kept out of sight. But goddamn if it isn't still so imposing to see every single time.
That's a good point. Last I checked, the Worm Spotter account's still active, posting every day's flight plans. Did you find this there?
This was captured by a local birdwatchers Facebook group.
Oh.
A clear and present intimidation attempted by the hoarder-in-chief himself in a year that's been chock full of forest fires, no less. It started to take off pretty quickly, but you know the dragon sycophants. They're spinning it.
Let me guess. He just so happened to want to go for a casual stroll through the skies that day. Nothing ominous or threatening about his appearance at all. A coincidence.
Worse. It was a political stop.
Ugh.
He gave a rally in the neighboring county and did a flyover as a show for his local supporters. Of course, they ate it up. In fact, a lot of those folks who would have benefited from the 05 deal showed out to support in a big way.
That's also very Western New York for you. But damn, this is the twist you've got for me? That's still pretty dragon-centric.
That's not the twist, Malik. I'm still setting the stage.
Okay, girl, but you better get there soon. I'm sick of hearing about him.
This is where things start to go up a notch. Igneous had already been friendly with the Society of Pine. They shopped at the Society of Pine stalls and even occasionally watched the stall when one of the Society folks wanted to take lunch. They get a discount that way, which is nice. But once the dragon flew by, Igneous really wanted to be part of the cause. Not only because they loved the lands themselves, but because they were truly impressed by the Society.
Yeah, what else are they up to in the year of our Lord 2026? I'm sure they don't let that big compound go to waste.
They very much do not. They've rebranded themselves as a wellness collective these days. They host a lot of classes that are open to the public, but the tickets aren't cheap. It seems to attract a lot of tourists, folks looking to get out of the city who will pay top dollar to drink mushroom tea and forest bathe. Some of them like it so much they come for a weekend and never end up leaving. Raise families there.
Collective in this context sounds like the kind of word that comes with some awful big quotation marks here.
Look, you know I love a good cult story as much as the next girly, but I'm not convinced this really is one. These folks seem a little eccentric, sure, but they don't seem like they're the types to be immediately reaching for the flavor aid.
You can just say Kool-Aid, Jamie.
Oh, but that wouldn't be historically accurate.
No, but it does sound better, and you know it.
Fine. It does. Okay, so Igneous got closer to them, started helping passing out literature, canvassing the neighbors to draw up signatures for a petition into a thorough ecological study of the lands to ensure no local endangered species would be harmed. Not a full stop for the project, but at least a stumbling block. Igneous was making videos about what the land has meant to different types of people all over the town, fondly remembering first kisses and Eagle Scout badges earned and, sometimes those things happening simultaneously.
Ah, yes, they're drinking the Kool-Aid now, too.
Stop it! They're doing activism and helping well-meaning folks to better get their message out there. The society had a lot of success in the past, but not many of them had a lot of kids. They're not the most technologically literate types.
Of course, that's what the new recruits are for.
I've got one more clip for you.
Hit me in the face with it.
Okay, I threw it in the chat. I wish I could throw it at your face.
Okay, let me get this pulled up in the full screen. And here's Igneous, who you neglected to tell me is V-cute, BT dubs, who's filming themselves at a protest one morning when into the frame comes what is presumably a logging truck. There's a big, burly man with a yellow hard hat and a can of spray paint getting out, and he's starting to paint something on the line of trunks, and holy shit, did that tree just...
Go full tree beard at the Battle of Isengard?
Oh my God! Here's this guy just trying to do whatever it is he's doing and getting paid to do, and suddenly the branches begin reaching toward him, but not just him either. This tree also reaches towards the logging truck, and it's picking it up. Oh, yep, and it's hurling it out of frame like it's weightless. Wow.
Waking up, fighting back.
I'm not sure if my mind's playing tricks on me, but that tree, he's got eyes. What seemed to be a simple knot reveals itself to be a nose. And that smile, so determined. So ready to tear that poor hot man limb from limb.
Pretty good twist, huh?
The freaking best!
I think we've earned ourselves an ad break. We'll be back in a jiff.
I've always preferred Skippy.
You what now?
You said we'd be back in a jiff. I've always preferred Skippy.
Yes. Peanut butter, I've got it.
But seriously, Jamie, I know that we're all living through the unfucking 1 nanosecond at a time, and our brains can only handle so much new information at once, but this feels like it should be much bigger news. I can't understand how I haven't heard about it. Like, anywhere.
It's very much out there if you're in the right algorithm. But with everything happening in New Zealand, it's getting kind of drowned in the noise.
So this is just one of those situations where everything is so terrible and the horror so nonstop that this one genuinely interesting thing can't even begin to break through?
It's almost as if you're living through the same darkest timeline as me.
Could you even imagine? But okay, so, Dish, the trees in Allegheny State Park are the only ones that have done this so far? No updates from your neck of the woods?
No, this seems to be a distinctly different type of situation. And as far as I can tell, the walking trees is localized to the area around Allegheny State Park for now. There are definitely more trees that look like women here, but none of them are walking around. They still stay very still and look like people from our town's past. They're still not showing any signs of sentience.
Damn, I was really hoping to live vicariously through you. Love to hear that there are more, though. That was always a fun story. Anybody particularly interesting?
Not really. We can't figure out who most of them are. You know what's hilarious, actually? So Rebecca got one, and she always wanted to get rid of them in the first place. We think one is the failed Olympic shot put hopeful from the 1950s, but I can't prove it.
That's incredible. And presumably, this tree in Allegheny State Park doesn't look like anyone from that area's local history?
No, his features were entirely his own. And from the way that Igneous has described him on more recent updates, he was pretty ancient looking, as if he'd always been awake, and that it was just our faults for being too dumb to notice. And those hippies, not a single one of them was surprised by the sight of it. Like they had known all along.
But they haven't been able to get any more footage?
Unfortunately, no. Igneous hasn't been able to post more. The Society of Pine was pretty ticked off when they posted the footage I showed you of the tree. Said that all the trees preferred to keep a lower profile than that and asked for it to be taken down.
Sounds like the Society of Pine shouldn't have invited Igneous to the protest if they didn't want them to do their outreach job in the first place. Is there more footage? I want to see more trees.
Igneous says they've seen more of them in the time since, but there's no footage. This guy and the others like him, they've gotten pretty good at staying still over the last few hundred years.
So they're the reclusive type then. I don't know why I should be surprised. Of course, sentient trees are emo kids. They're all a bunch of SOPs.
That's the thing though, Malik. These trees that woke up, it seems like they really like the Society of Pine. Oh. Like after they scared off the loggers and surveyors and other general contractors, they hugged those hippies right back.
You're kidding me.
Not at all.
You're barking up the wrong tree if you expect me to dignify that one with a response.
In all seriousness, the alliance between the SOPs and the trees seems to be one of deep mutual admiration and respect. Igneous even claims to have seen 5 or 6 hemlocks leading a yoga class when they were allowed to do a compound visit. Though, It took them a minute to figure out what was happening because instead of legs, the trees seemed to move through the fluid movements of their root system.
God damn it. I wish I could put that into my eyes right now.
Trust me, so did Igneous, but they were asked to leave their phone at home on any future visits. They're really animated when they explain it in their recap video, though, so you still kind of feel like you're there. But then last week, they got caught trying to film on a hidden GoPro, and one of the Founding Society of Pine members told them it was the last straw. So they drove them back to town and said it'd be better if they kept their distance going forward. Didn't seem the most forgiving, unless Igneous had an earnest interest in leaving their degree program and joining the cause full-time.
I'm sorry, but the SOPs are absolutely a cult. There is nothing you can do or say to convince me otherwise.
I don't know. I get why you feel that way, but they've done so much good for their area. Don't you think they deserve a bit of privacy?
I mean, not really. They're being pretty gatekeepery about it. I'm all for sticking it to the man against the development and all, but Igneous is a grad student, one who would probably have colleagues that would really benefit from getting a chance to study this phenomena up close. Why should they get to decide who is welcome?
They might not be the ones who are making the decisions. The trees may have been the ones to communicate their boundaries.
You're right. The trees do deserve to have a say here, but still, seems kind of sus to me, even if these creepy hippies are living my actual dream right now.
Everyone with a soul's dream.
Ugh, God, why can't the apocalypse do anything nice for us like this for once? Where are my helpful ancient woodland creatures to, I don't know, open up a portal through the Bermuda River?
Oh, I miss you too.
I'm just really feeling it lately, you know?
I really do.
Hey, Jamie, if you could be a tree, what tree would you be?
There's this one blue spruce out by my aunt's house that I've always really loved. I think I'd be that blue spruce.
Oh, yeah, you're so right. You'd look magnificent.
What about you?
I've thought about this more than you'd expect, honestly.
No, I think everybody here knows how much you think about trees at this point.
What can I say? I'm sapsational.
More like you're a corn dog. Am I right?
Jamie, stop making me stoop to your level. God, but seriously. There's something about the magnolias at Chicago Botanic Garden that just put me at peace, you know? Like, I already feel like I'm being basked in their wisdom every time I visit during their bloom, writing poems as their petals fall.
You would be a beautiful magnolia.
Are there any other trees you spend a lot of time with that you'd just like to catch up with?
I mean, I did have this tire swing as a kid,
Oh, yeah?
and I'd just sit in it every single day. Wouldn't even bother swinging, just floating there, hovering up a few feet off the ground, and I felt at peace. Or at least I did until the tree got sick and we had to cut it down so it wouldn't infect the other trees in the area. I wish I could have known what it thought of our time together, if it meant as much to it as it did to me.
Girl, now you're talking about talking to tree ghosts again.
Okay, maybe, but in a different context this time. But we're getting off topic. Back to the matter at hand.
So, when we last checked in with them, the trees and the SOPs were off doing yoga after their win against the big bad developers. Igneous saw it, but was no longer allowed to visit because they blew up the tree's existence for their Rock-tok and protest-minded adjacent girlies. Have they seen anyone from the Society of Pine since?
No, and believe me, they've tried. Because now that they're the target of Big Red's resentment, they've gone deeper underground. Nobody's left their compound in at least 2 weeks, and people are calling it a ghost town.
Honestly, I don't blame these hippies, even if I don't trust them. Any theories as to where they might have gone?
At first, Igneous thought they'd literally gone underground, as if they have a huge sprawling catacomb of tunnels that stretches through the whole forest, which is why they weren't able to find any clear evidence of the Society of Pine or the tree's whereabouts. But then they realized it's much simpler than that.
Oh, yeah?
So this takes a little explanation. Even though nobody's seen one move on video again, it's still obvious to anyone from the area that the trees are moving. There's even documented evidence of well-maintained trails disappearing entirely. It's pretty clear the trees know how to stop still in their tracks, even if those tracks are far from their original coordinates.
God, who would have ever thought trees would be so isolated and mobile?
With some actual understanding of our technology. Because whenever anyone with a cell phone camera, Igneous included, tries to capture their movements, they're stock still.
So they're a stubborn and private sect of mythical creature?
It sure seems like it, but that's the thing. Even though the trees can stop themselves from moving before they're caught on camera, they can't do anything to hide the proof of their movements.
Color me intrigued.
Look, the forest, even though it's pretty much gone full ent on us, It seems like the trees are able to use their root systems to basically swim through the dirt. So while they aren't using their legs to trample the grass they step on, they're still leaving disturbed soil, rocks, and woodland critters in their wake.
Are you seriously telling me that these trees are using their roots like tentacles? Like they're some kind of giant land-based squids?
It's igneous working theory anyway. They obviously have no way to prove it until the trees and the Society of Pine decide to return to the public eye. But it seems the most feasible to them, given how much the woods are shifting.
It's not just those first few trails?
No, it's like every day they're in a new configuration, moving constantly, every single day. Property lines are a thing of the past. Seasoned hikers are going missing for hours at a time, only to turn up a massive distance away from where they originally entered the woods.
Has anyone been hurt?
That's the thing. No one from the public has been harmed at all. They've gotten lost for sure, but unless they were actively seen taking up against the bounds of the forest in an attempt to make way for this development, they've been taken care of, shepherded to places where it's easy to fish or forage, and eventually guided back to where they need to go.
That's awful charitable for a species who we've spent literal millennia tearing down.
Tell me about it. The developers, on the other hand, they weren't as lucky. Igneous was able to get some footage of the aftermath of one of their scuffles. The trees had stretched the bounds of the forest to their absolute limit, trampling abandoned parking lots and reclaiming the land that was once theirs. Every piece of equipment was destroyed. A trucker hauling it was fatally impaled. It wasn't pretty. Igneous wasn't really the same after that. They started posting a lot less after seeing that kind of horror up close.
Brutal. And now they think that the Society of Pine have taken to the woods. There's probably no secret underground tunnel system that they're hiding in. Why would they need it when the trees they've spent decades trying to protect have decided to return the favor?
Exactly. And Igneous did get one glance of them again after that. At the very edge of their vision, they caught sight of one of them literally being plucked off the ground by branches and carried amongst them as the tree retreated. Still too quick to be caught on camera, but there it was. The man's long gray ponytail stark for one moment before being buried in the greater mass of the forest until it was like it was never there at all.
God damn it! It's gone full Merry and Pippin here. The more you tell me, the more jealous I get of these people.
I mean, they're still on the run for their lives away from a literal fire-breathing dragon who also just so happens to be our commander-in-chief.
Sure, of course, but they're being aided in their fight by a group of yoga-practicing Ents.
They're not Ents, Malik. We legally cannot call them Ents. Plus, they have their own entirely unique physiology.
You're splitting hairs. This is still the coolest thing that has come out of this janky-ass apocalypse in ages, and it's nowhere near either of us. But I still don't get something.
What's that?
If the dragon has decided to go all huff and puff and blow your forest down on them, or at least to threaten them with it, why hasn't he actually done it yet? Just light fire to the whole thing and give it over to the builders as planned.
I mean, you and I both know that he's an idiot, but he's not so stupid as to go literal scorched earth again. Not after what happened in Wisconsin last summer.
You're right. That was so long ago now, I forgot it even happened.
That's the point. Keep us so continuously exhausted by all the new things we worry about that we can't catch our breath and actually address any of them. But he's a businessman. At least that's what his loyalists are always trying to tell him. And he understands how valuable the sale is. Don't want to damage the goods before the check clears, you know what I mean?
Right. So instead, he's just out there swinging his little dragon dick at those trees and those patchouli-loving cultists who love to hug them in hopes that they'll just give up.
Look, I still want to go on record here as saying I don't think they're a cult. They're doing some good in the way they know how. It may not be the biggest win in the world, but it's still clearly a massive bureaucratic stumbling block to him. And at a time like this, I'll take it.
I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree on this one. I still think they should have let Igneous in on the fun. And anyone else who's interested in sharing in this wonderful change to our surroundings, like me.
I get it. I really do. But the trees seem to have their own preferences. Do I wish they were a little less of a kept secret? Of course. But these creatures are centuries old. They've had plenty of time to make up their own minds about people and who they want to bring into their confidence.
You're not wrong. Still feels weirdly churchy to me.
Okay, it's definitely not that. At least I didn't force Igneous to get a weird haircut and start paying subscription fees, you know?
I mean, it sounds like they wanted to. But I mean, if I know our listeners as well as I think I do, you know what my next question is going to be.
What's that?
The Dave Brigade demands to know what your hot dad thinks about all of this. He's got to have an opinion about all this.
He certainly does.
And?
He's really freaking jealous, too.
Right? My God, I always knew that Dave was one of the good ones.
He just has so many questions for the trees. Like, first and foremost, what is it about the Society of Pine that's gotten them so politically energized? Do they subscribe to some sort of similar belief system? Do they have language? He read his junk science book called The Hidden Life of Trees about how they can communicate with each other through their root systems, and he never put much stock in it. But now that it's clear that they're using those same root systems to disrupt the earth where they've stood for hundreds of years in some cases, maybe he should have.
I've read that book too.
All right, listeners, that's all we really know about the sentient trees outside of Buffalo at this point in time. And listen, if you're feeling as jealous as we are right now, would you let us know? We do love hearing from our listeners, especially if you can think of a specific tree in your life that you would like to be a fugitive on the run alongside.
Please email us your stories. I need to know about all your favorite trees, because if we can't talk to them ourselves, then maybe we can at least write fan fiction about it.
Who knows? Maybe we'll be lucky enough to wake up our own parks and forests. Put a stop to some more of this, I don't know, unnecessary destruction.
Or at least piss off the dragon.
In the meantime, I'm Jamie.
I'm Malik. This is World Gone Wrong, and for once we had something nice to tell you about.
It's a special oak occasion. And for Arbor Day, no less.
We know things are getting weirder every day, but we hope your baseline, and we wish you all a better tomorrow.
And a really nice tree you can hug.
And even when it's ashes, there'll be part of me that wishes we could stay.
Jamie and Malik are played by Hilary Williams and Michael Turrentine. This episode was written by Bob Raymonda, directed and edited by Jeffrey Nils Gardner.
Our show art is by Carly Fairbanks.
And our bangin' theme song is Falling in Love at the End of the World by Olivia and the Lovers.
World Gone Wrong is produced and created by Jeffrey Nils Gardner and Eleanor Hyde.
This is a production of Audacious Machine Creative.
In this place, once known as Hartford, Connecticut, the wind doesn't howl. It screams. That screaming wind careens maliciously across the vast tundra until it breaks against the side of a monolithic structure. The Heart Life Tower. Former home of the Heart Life Insurance Company. Dear listener, these are the true dramatizations of our fair city's glorious history. You will meet the brave bureaucrats that keep us safe and orderly.
Sorry for the confusion. MURDER is actually an acronym for our department. An unfortunate coincidence.
The abominable mole people who dig the tunnels that keep us warm.
They don't exist. There's no such thing as ant people. Mole people.
And the most dangerous villains of all. Scientists.
I swear, I'd forget my head if it wasn't sewn on.
To say nothing of lightning riggers, time travelers, and simple interns. Every policy has a story to tell. Join us, dear listener, for the tale of our fair city, wherever you listen to podcasts. And remember, you owe everything to Heart Life. All the life you'll ever need.